Ladies and gentlemen, Wales, let's hear it for the cast of Lucifer. Starting with the ladies first, please welcome Amy Garcia. And please welcome Leslie Ann Brandt and D.B. Woodside. And we have a special celebrity cameo.
Kingston.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kingston. Yay! Would Kingston would we get a chair for Kingston?
Oh, no.
Oh,
He just
and
wanted
they're
to
off.
make an entrance.
Give it up one more time, Wales, for the cast of Lucifer. So if you guys are new to the panels, I'm going to ask a few questions, and we're going to ask you to go to microphone number 1 on my left here, and there's another microphone there. So get those questions brewing. Don't be shy. We'll get this into a very fan interactive space in just a moment. But let's start with you, and your lovely child is here. And I have to say, this is a family-friendly Comic-Con atmosphere, but how has it been having a sidekick this weekend?
Well, I have to shout out to my husband who's been playing Daddy Daycare. You might know him.
Yay!
John Decker, Chloe's dad, all weekend. So I've been able to meet all of you lovely fans. But it's been wonderful. I think we just realized how wonderful it was for the three of us being on this trip. I think it was much needed for us to see each other again and share the love with you guys. So thank you.
Yes. Amy, how's your Comic-Con going so far here in Wales?
So fun. Leslie Ann said, we've just laughed to the point where it hurts you to laugh, and you're crying, and then you're crying, and then you're laughing, and we've just had so much fun. I've gotten to tag along with the Labs family as I'm like, can I get him a gift? Can I get him a gift? One. I'm like, okay. But it's just been so fun. It's been lovely. You all are wonderful, and we've had the most interesting conversations. I've learned so much. So thank you for sharing your hearts and your family, and we've all fallen in love with your children. You're lucky we gave them back.
Me.
Especially this one.
Give me
with
your
the baby.
Oh, I love your babies.
But it's just been wonderful, and my jeans are definitely a little more tighter with all the treats that you guys have been bringing.
Lots of Welsh cakes they've been leaving for you guys, yeah. How's Comic-Con been for you, Mr.
Oh, it's been fantastic. I think Comic-Cons are made by the people, and you guys have been fantastic. This countryside, this city is beautiful. I'm coming back for a holiday. I can't wait to do that. But it's just been fantastic. And one of the things that I've also missed about this, meeting people, but also we're here with other actors from other shows that I love, and so that's also been fun because we're fans also. So to be able to sit down last night and hang out with Superman and Lois was very cool for me, and to see James Marsters again from Buffy. We haven't seen each other, my God, I think in almost a decade. That was great. It's just a really, really good guy, old friend, and it's just great to sit down with him and talk about war stories and this business. But definitely the highlight has been all of you. So thank you very much.
Mr. Marsters mentioned you on his panel this morning and was saying how lovely you are, how great it was to see you, and he was singing his praises on the panel this morning. So for you ladies, interacting with other shows, I think for fans it's just wild to think of Alex Garfin from Superman and Lois was saying that he's hanging out with the Cobra Kai guys. So for you ladies, how has it been interacting with other actors from these shows at this Comic-Con?
Oh my gosh, amazing. Bitsy and I actually have a mutual friend that has always said, you guys need to meet because you're so similar. You're just so similar. And then we finally meet each other, and obviously Tyler, hearing stories from the old days, Because they've been in the business. I think Tyler was a kid, right? it's been wonderful, and we have a lot of, especially our show shot in Vancouver for the first season and second season. So a lot of our crew has been crewed up on other shows. So we have, we know a lot of people up in Vancouver, but it's been lovely. It's been really nice.
I didn't know Tyler spoke French, so we've been répéter le français, and then we started speaking French to each other, and he's like, we're at the same level. This is like a good tennis match. So every time I see Tyler, I'm like, bonjour, et comment ça va? Because he's practicing his French and so am I. We're both like intermediate, so it's been pretty good, practicing French with Superman.
It's a very cool Superman fact. I had no idea. That's a Comic-Con exclusive here in Wales. Well, we'll get to, we have some fan questions all ready for you, but we have a lot of young fans here that, there's so many shows represented, Teen Wolf, Superman and Lois, a lot of young fans that are just getting into the show Lucifer. So DB, I'll start with you because you had such a great general kind of oversee of what the show is about. So what makes it so special to you?
I think for me, the greatest thing about our show has always been how inclusive it's been. You see every color on our show. You see, you see the world. You see love just portrayed as love, and that's something I know that we're all very, very proud of. We talk about it often. We are very protective of our, marginalized communities because we believe in them strongly. We represent them. The three of us up here come from them, and that's just something about the show that's always been great. Is how I think how it teaches people to be open, and that even if you've made mistakes in your past, that those mistakes do not define who you are. Good people make bad mistakes every day. It doesn't make them bad people. So there's always room for growth, for change, for redemption.
Yeah, I think our show is...
Very well said. Thank you.
I think our show is very inspirational, where if the devil can be redeemed and find love, then any one of us can. And I think our show brings people together. We've all seen you guys become friends in front of our eyes. It has, action and drama and comedy and heart and singing and dancing. But I think, like DB was saying, it just brings people together. And I think this show makes people feel less alone. There's a girl that was just sobbing in Lab's arms and saying, oh my gosh, you made me feel like it's okay to be different. In DB, they just sit there and they're speechless. And I think everyone sees themselves in at least one of these characters. And I think really good storytelling can inspire you to be better and can make you feel less alone and just inspire you to be a better version of yourself. So hopefully that's what makes our show just hit that sweet spot.
Well said. Yes. Yes. I think the fans that really get me are the youth and the young ones. You guys have to know that while I play a very fierce demon who would cut you in a heartbeat, really at the center of that character and the center of me is a very gooey middle. And when you guys, especially the kids, the young ones, come up and say, Mazikeen taught me how to stand tall and be different. Mazikeen taught me to, fight for my friends or for myself. Or Mazikeen taught me it's okay to love whoever I want to love. Or just that to be a strong woman, whatever. We make this show on a lot, in Burbank and Los Angeles, California, and you don't often realize when you're grinding day to day or coming in and doing long days what a show and a character can necessarily mean to someone in that moment when you're shooting it. So it's when we come out and we meet you guys and we see you guys, and I think you guys as a community, as a Comic-Con community, you are such a great example for the world because you are from all walks of life, from different nationalities, races, speak different languages, disabilities, sexual orientations, all of it, kids, old. And you just love this one thing, and you're connected by this one little TV show. And I think the world can learn so much from that. So thank you for like a really good time in Wales, really, truly.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Beautiful answers from all three of you. Thank you for sharing. We have a question at the microphone here on the right.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, it just really resonated what you said, like about redeeming yourself, about everything, everyone, every walk of life being represented. My question was, which scene was, so to say, is it for all of you, was your favorite or stuck really with you? And if you could switch with any other character on the show, which one would you switch with?
This one's always been easy for me because I've said this before. It just pops right out. If I could switch with any other character, it would be Ella. Yes, I've said this a few times because the amount of joy and fun that Amy has infused into that character is, it's just contagious.
It's very hard to make science fun, especially over a dead body.
Aw, you guys.
And it's I also always say this: it's hard to pick one scene out of 6 seasons. I mean, it really is. For me personally, the scenes that tend to stay with me the most that I was involved in would probably be the one scene with Tricia Helfer where she dies and and I take her up to heaven. That was a special scene, and Tricia's one of my favorite actresses that I've ever worked with. And so that's a cool scene for me. I also have had so many scenes with Leslie Ann, it's impossible to pick one. I've had so many incredible scenes with Tom. I wish Amy and I had more scenes, but I did get a chance to direct the final season, and so my all-time favorite scene would be when Amy sees an angel, Ella sees an angel fly for the very first time. And my favorite scenes tend to be scenes that have very few words or almost no words. And Amy's performance is absolutely brilliant, that you see all of her dreams, her wishes, fears, and even anger wash over her face in just one moment. It's just absolutely powerful. So,
I will say that scene in particular, DB very gently. He's a very gentle guy, so he comes up and he's like, "Hey, so this is the first time you see an angel," because Ella's like the dumbest, smartest character I know. I'm like, seriously, you don't know? And he's like, "You're gonna have to. This is the first time you see an angel, so I want you to register what that means, and then you're gonna see his wings come out." And there's going to be some wind, because when the angels fly on the show, which I'd never known before, there's fans, like J-Lo style, and there's going to be fans, so don't let it, distract you. And then the crane's going to come up, and then you're going to be awed, because you're a woman of faith, and then you're going to be emotionally taken by that, and then you're going to be upset that your friends lie to you, and we got 5 minutes to shoot the scene. You got this. And I'm like, DB, so that actually, dramatic-wise, that's one of my favorite scenes. And then collaborative-wise was the football musical scene, because it was 250 people doing one take before the sun goes down, and everyone being on point, and we high-fived like we just did a Broadway show. Because if you were in the wrong place, you could hurt a gymnast from the Another One Bites the Dust number. And we did it, and it was just awesome, and it felt very team-orientedness, and I'll never forget that scene, because it was 250 people coming together for one dance number.
My favorite scene is a scene probably that I'm just so proud of given where I was at the time. I know there's a lot of new mothers here with babies. I can hear them. But you know what those early days are like when you're just exhausted and tired. And I went back to work 6 weeks after I had Kingston. So there was a period where I was like just I was acting, but I was like, where am I? But it's a scene at the piano with Tom, because we had literally like maybe 2 takes end of the day. And when you're that vulnerable and you're just open, because you know children tend to do that to you, they crack open your heart and you're just very available emotionally. There wasn't really much acting going on there. Like, I just used what I was feeling and put it into my art. And so it's a scene I always look back where I'm like, I'm super proud because I did my job, and I did one of my jobs. I had 2 jobs during that time, and that was like feeding and keeping a baby alive and acting. And then probably being able to play Lilith as well. Just, I Want to Be Evil, singing that song. That was super fun for me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great question. We've got a question here on the left.
Hello. I was wondering, did you enjoy doing the musical episode?
I was nervous, I'm not going to lie, when they said, we're going to mash up TLC and Bad to the Bones. I was like, oh, no. What are we doing to TLC? Bad to the Bone. I don't know that song. I was nervous about it. But then we had a lot of fun. And I got to put the character into this like crazy costume, and she was trying to be, oh, no, no, no. And yeah, it was fun.
It was really fun. So I don't know if you guys know how a musical episode works. You record it in the studio, and then you lip sync to yourself. But we usually sing to ourselves anyway, so you can like see the veins in the neck or whatever. And some of us may or may not have taken a shot of tequila before at the recording because they were very nervous. So I was really nervous because I just thought of myself as like an actor who like sings in the shower. And then when they said that we were all going to sing, we all did it. I'm proud, but it was so much fun. I mean, I started my career as a dancer. I was a professional dancer, and then anytime I can dance, I'm like so excited. And I did do musical theater in college and stuff, so I had a blast. And
Really, you did sing. Like, you were like, come on.
well, but I'm not like a singer. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was telling Leslie,
Cut
both
to-
of us actually. You
cut
guys
to
gotta. Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, we had a good time. I'm singing. I was telling her like my next Netflix project, I do a movie where I do all my own singing, and we're keeping our fingers crossed for this one who has a project where she sings. And my biggest compliment,
She's not going to say it, but her movie on Netflix comes out in December. I've seen the behind the scenes. She plays a pop star. I've seen some of she put in the work.
That's true.
I will expect each and every one of you to be tuning in.
Very sweet.
Okay.
But one of the biggest one of the biggest compliments was when they did the testing. They're like, she's not really singing. So I got that because of the musical episode. So super fun, super exciting, and yeah. Did you have a blast?
I was really nervous. It's not exactly something that I do, but once they told me that I was going to be rapping, that is something that I did a lot of in my youth. And so that was, I started to see that as fun. And I was excited by that. I got to kind of call back to things I used to do a lot in my youth. And we got a chance to shoot that scene outside in Burbank, and it was a lovely day, and the song was lovely, and we had a really good time. That was a really good time.
And you guys gotta Google DB dancing. What's that CW show that?
No, don't.
Yes, seriously, DB's like dun 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 dun, 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 like down the stairs.
It's to Michael Jackson, right?
What is it? Which
Dun,
one is
dun,
it?
you
Yeah,
rock
we're gonna
my
figure it out. He's great. Yeah, he's really good.
See, I'm worried now because sometimes the people upstairs will then put things on the screen. That would be hilarious. Please don't.
Terrible.
Lewis up at the top. Please don't do that. We've got a question from a member of the Hellfire Club on the right there.
Hello.
Hello. Firstly, I would like to say thank you so much for being so nice yesterday. It was so lovely to meet you all, and I was just so excited. And thank you. And my question is, what was your favorite thing about your character?
I think for me is that she loves like madly and deeply, and she like makes mistakes, you know, as a person and as her friends, but she's always loyal. You know, it's so easy to play that character as one note and just a badass, and like she can, you know, fight and do all those things, and you know, but that in her discovering her humanity, she learned to kind of do what Ella does, which is find the goodness, right, in a situation, but at the same time, it's a fine line to walk, because you have to know that she can find the humanity, but also she could cut you at any time. So it's kind of like me, you know. It's like, ooh, what's that? Like, don't mess with me today, you know. But that at the center of it is a very layered character. So I think it's her ability to mess up and, you know, be loyal, but also grow. It's her growth. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for Ella, I just love that she wears her heart on her sleeve. One of my proudest moments was during COVID, all you guys, like Lucy fans, were like, can we just do an Ella hug on Twitter? And I thought that's so beautiful. Like, I love the way you guys treat each other. I love how kind you are to each other. You know, there was a Lucy fan who was sick, and like, hey, can you just send some love? We've never met, but we're friends because of the show, kind of like Lab was saying. So I just love her ability to hopefully inspire other people around her to have the courage to not be guarded. Like, our time here is so short, you guys. Like, seriously, I always say this, but time is the only thing we can't make more of. And someone gives you 1,000 pounds, you're not gonna tear it up. But someone gives you 1,000 minutes, we waste it all the time. So I'm such big, like, forgive, you know, like, say you're sorry. Who cares? Like, we have such little time. You don't know if you're gonna have the people in your life. So I feel like Ella comes from that place. And I love that about her, that she just would rather say I'm sorry than hold a grudge and not have someone she loves in her life forever.
Amenadiel went through quite a bit. But I would probably have to say, more than anything, his dedication to family. Sometimes it bordered on the dangerous, but his love for his family was absolutely incredible to me. I mean, he would be there for any one of them, and he never gave up on Lucifer. And I think as a result of never giving up on Lucifer, that, you know, I think Amenadiel would like to believe that he helped Lucifer evolve, you know? And vice versa. I actually think Lucifer helped Amenadiel grow quite a bit. When Amenadiel starts out the show, he sees humans, us, as nothing more than pets, insects that aren't even worthy of communicating with. You know, that was his his ability to kind of stop time meant that he never really had to interact with humans. And as the show went on and he started, you know, losing those powers and having to actually deal with people, he started to grow and started to see that we were alike. But to answer your question, I would probably say his dedication to family.
Thank you. Great question. going to go to the microphone on the left with my boy Jeffrey. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hi again. What's the best piece of acting advice you've ever been given? And what's the most interesting note from a director you've received?
I think for me, I was fortunate enough to do a few movies with Alfred Molina, and after our second film together, I go, can I just ask you what advice you have? And he said something that was very simple. He said, take the work seriously, don't take yourself seriously. And I thought that was perfect. I was like, yeah. You know, don't believe your own hype, but just give everything into the craft. And what was the second question?
Interesting note from a director, so a direction.
Be funnier? I don't know.
You're like, it's not possible. it's just not possible.
One time I went to an audition, you guys, this is terrible, and I thought I did a really good job, and I'm like, so did I get it? And they're like, no. And I said, well, what was their feedback? And they're like, they said you didn't find the funny.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, God.
Someone once told me, you know, this business, they really were like preparing me, I guess, when I was coming over to Los Angeles, and they said, you know, it's not a meritocracy. So it's like, it's when opportunity, hard work, and luck meet. And make sure you are the most prepared. Make sure you are thinking outside the box. Make sure you're doing like the best tapes for your auditions. Make sure you're, even if you're, I learned that on Spartacus, even if you have no lines in a scene, be so present that it is undeniable for that camera not to, or in that editor not to cut to you, because you're responding to that information. And so if you watch Spartacus, gradually as the season goes on, there's like more Navia reactions. Oh, look, she's listening in to see what's happening in the Ludus. And then they start writing for you, you know, because you're, and weirdest direction, I don't know. Weirdest direction. I don't know. Pace it up is always weird for me. I mean, I say that. It's like, speak faster. I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know.
This is also tricky because I also feel like the business has changed somewhat, but still the one piece of acting advice that resonates with me today is to keep it simple, but keep it alive. I think you see, for me, there's a lot of gesticulating and overacting that you see that's engaging and it's entertaining, but you have to know your vehicle. That's not my lane, right? So I think any time that I'm going to attempt to do something like that, I'm not going to be as successful as someone else. I think you get to a point where you know what your strengths are, and you can lean into them. So for me, it's always about receiving the information and being honest with it, and keeping it simple, but keeping it active with what your thoughts are. Every time that someone is speaking to us and we're listening, our mind is not blank. You know, either we are listening to them or we're not listening to them and we're thinking about what we're going to do, you know, when we go grocery shopping or we're going to watch that night. But our mind is always active, and that's interesting, especially in film and TV, is to see a character actually thinking. They don't have to be speaking, but you believe that there's so much going on there. And I will even at times, when I have scenes where there aren't any words, which again are usually my favorite scenes. There's a scene, I believe in season 2, where Amenadil loses his powers, and the only thing written in there was he walks into his office, takes his shirt off, and sees that his wings are wilting. And so I spent a week writing an interior monologue about what would be going through his head and what that would be feeling like, but unable to speak that. And how would we know the depths of his pain, like what he was feeling when there are no words. So those are my favorite scenes. We used to call them private moments that are public, meaning you're watching a character in a private moment, there's no one else around, but we're the ones that are witnessing that. We're the ones looking at this person being really true and honest in their private moment, and it's almost like we are kind of spying in, and we're seeing someone's vulnerability, just how raw they are, how we all are, you know? We all have those moments where no one's around and filled with insecurities, filled with invasive thoughts, and hopefully, oftentimes too, filled with so much happiness and joy that it's almost private. And those are the moments that I love. So to keep it simple, but keep it alive. I think the direction that I hate the most is when a director says, as Leslie Ann said, pick up the pace. That's not a direction. That's like a speeding thing. A direction is trying to give the actors a reason for talking faster. There's something that's got to be motivating that. Not just let's clip it along simply because the writer wrote too much, or the writing's not that good, so we just kind of just grind through and push through it. All which happens, you know, and as an actor, you know, we all have our things in our jobs. Sometimes for us as actors, we were fortunate on Lucifer, but sometimes as actors, you're in something or you're in a scene that is not written as well as one would have hoped, and it's just you there. So most people are not going to talk about the writing in that scene. They're going to talk about how horrible DB was in that scene. And I think that's sometimes really hard for actors. So we do have to find ways to push through certain types of writing. So, but telling actors to pace it up is not the way to get through a maybe not greatly written scene.
Thank you very much.
Great question. Thank you, Jeffrey. We have time for one final question. We're going to go to the microphone on the right. Hiya.
Hi. What was your guys' favorite season to film?
Ooh.
I think for me, it was the last one, just because we weren't supposed to have one. So I think the writers were like, what character is not in the know and has the most to discover? And it was Ella, because she was totally in the dark. So that, you know, the wedding scenes and the scenes with Lucifer and just those private moments of losing Dan and seeing an angel for the first time. For me, those were so fulfilling because, you know, I love doing MC Hammer dance over a dead body, super fun. And super fun, you know, saying external examination from the carotid. That's how the victim died. But it was really nice to just, you know, see an angel for the first time. So selfishly, I, as an actor, love season 6, but I think as a viewer, like as a fan, what was the season that Charlotte was on?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. I really liked 2 and 3. Is that when she sees his devil face for the first time? That's season A. I don't know. One of those earlier ones I liked as a whole. As a viewer.
Okay. I actually think it was season 4 because we had been canceled, you guys. And then you guys were like, hold up, no, that's our show. We wanted to come back. And all of a sudden, the impossible was possible because, as DB has said before, I don't think you guys realized how dead the show was. It was
The show was dead.
It was dead.
Dead.
Like, it's never coming back. Our producers at Bruckheimer were like, at our rap party, like, it's not going to happen.
They were like
You know,
tearing out
like,
sets.
they were just like, yeah, I think it was like one of the most melancholy, like, rap parties.
Cheers.
But then coming back that fourth season, one, we were on Netflix, so it was like everything was sexier. It was just the marketing and the like what we got to do and the writing, and you know, we got to like, I got a girlfriend, you know, or I saw someone that I might like. I think coming back after you guys had done that was extra special for me. I did a lot on the show personally. You know, I got married, had a baby, bought a house, and like, so the show has given me a lot personally, and it was nice to be able to come back and go like, you guys got what you wanted. So give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, this one is always so hard for me because I've been told that I can be too honest sometimes, so I've been working on that. And I love season 6 because it gave me an opportunity to direct, something that I have always wanted to do. And there's no better way to begin directing than with people that you love and who are your friends. So that was, season 6 was a high point for me for that. Seasons 4 and 5, because of being saved and being on Netflix, it was a completely different experience being on Netflix versus Fox. That's not me hating on Fox. I just want to say that if they hadn't canceled us, we wouldn't have had, I think we found a much better home, and we're definitely treated differently, and Netflix had so much faith in us. And when you feel that kind of faith, I think when you feel like people have faith in you, you can do amazing things. And so that was amazing. Now, from a strictly selfish actor point of view, my favorite season as a actor and probably as a fan was season 2. Because having Mom come on created a dynamic between Lucifer and Amenadiel and Mom that I think was iconic. And that, being able to play that was absolutely incredible. And although I think we could probably all collectively agree that season 3 had some bumps, I still think some of the best episodes, trust me on this, some of the best episodes of the series you will find in season 3, which is a strange thing, because I think as a whole, season 3 wasn't necessarily probably the most watched, but I think there are gems within that season. But for me, season 2, story-wise, was my favorite.
Thank you for sharing. Great question. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the good news is they're going to be heading to the autograph area, so you still have time to meet the cast of Lucifer right here at Comic-Con Wales. Please give them a huge round of applause. This show has touched so many lives, and clearly Wales
Thank you guys.
loves the show as well.
I hope I said, I'm trying to say thank you in Welsh, so I don't know if I pronounced, but Diolch.
Perfect. Give it up for DB, Leslie Ann, and Amy, the cast of Lucifer. And sit tight, everybody.